So hey guys, today is the day I'm going to go over how to create your own candles. We are going to create them from a kit that I got from CandleScience. It's online, CandleScience.com. This is what the box looks like when you open it. These are the directions. It's super duper easy, y'all. These are the directions. We're going to go through the directions step by step, preparing our place, our place, the site in which we're going to do our candles, which is going to be right here. And then it gives you a little coupon on labels. So this kit contains the containers, the wax candle containers, 10 containers. It contains the wicks and the stickers that are needed to stick it to the bottom of the container. And then this wick holder, it will hold the wicks in place once we get the candles poured. It contained 2 fragrances, but I have a ton of fragrances that I also ordered because, like I said, I'm a fragrance girl. So I love fragrances. So I have a ton of fragrances that I have been going through and seeing which one I like the best. And it's fall, so I ordered, getting close to Christmas, Once Upon a Holiday, and some Reed diffuser fragrances, which have a lot of autumn scents in them. And I also ordered a couple extras because they give you some free ones. There you go. So I've been opening them and smelling them. This one smells really, really good. Yep. Winter Chalet and Bohemian Rose. It actually smells like rose. But anyway, so those are the scents. We're going to be working with a bunch of different scents. I'll go over the scents in a minute. And then we have the wax. Look how easy and simple this is. I'm going to show you. It's literally in a bag that you can either put in a double broiler. I use the double broiler system where you can put this inside of a bowl that can, stain, heat, and then put that bowl inside of a pot and let it melt slowly, or you can put it in the microwave. The wax that this candle is going to be made out of is apricot wax. I've never used coconut apricot wax. I've never used this. I've used the soy wax blend before. So we are going to learn and see how this throws the scent together. So yeah, I have 2 of those that will equal out to be 2, 4, 6 candles. And we'll go over this step by step. I'm going to do this step by step. We're going to go right by these directions. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to, if you are looking to get into skincare, if you are looking to get in, there's a lot of money that can be made. My goal is to show you how. I really want to focus on single moms, but it's for anybody. But if anybody knows me, I've been a single mom since I was 14, 15 years old, and it has been a struggle. So God has been elevating me and raising me out of that. He's currently still raising me out of that. But one way he did use was I'm supposed to have several businesses. And this business, Shea-Mergency Skincare, wasn't even on the list. But because when I put my hands to, and if you're a creative type person, when you put your hands to something, you're pretty good at it, right? And I'm pretty excellent at skincare. And it's just the blessing of God on Shea-Mergency that is causing it to grow. But this is how I grew. I knew nothing about skincare before this. I'm a nurse, so I knew how to notice signs and symptoms if something was wrong with the skin, or to take care of a wound, or nursing things. But I didn't know, I wasn't proactive in products that will help your skin become healthy and resilient and strong. So this is how I learned. YouTube University, and literally from the ground up, and finding companies like CandleScience and going through their kits, or just different formulations that I would find online, doing it myself and seeing what I liked and what I didn't like. And did my research. I did my research. So like the candle wax we're going to be using today is coconut apricot. I did my research on coconut. I did my research on wax. I did my research on apricot. I did my research on fragrances. I do my research. So, like I said, this is the directions, and the directions first say that we are supposed to cover our area, which is a very small little area I'm going to use because you don't need a big area for this. And I'm going to cover the area with just some regular paper. You can use newspaper. I'm just going to use printer paper and just cover the area. And then I'm going to set up my tins, and we're going to go through how to set up the containers to be ready for the wax to pour once we heat up the wax. All right, so here are the tins that they have sent that you can use to make candles. And it's really cool because the sticker that you need to put here for the wick, it's already laid out for you so you can see exactly where it goes. And I'm going to use just 3 for the first batch because they sent two bags of wax. So I'm assuming because there were 6, tins, that it's 3 and 3. I do want to go over like measurements. I will go over in a future video. And I learned it from another girl, like the formulations that you would use to either do batches or if you just wanted to do them singularly. I want to say you need to spend a lot of time there figuring that out before you start making all of your formulations. That has to be a part of the very first couple of things, because then if you make the batch and then you don't know how much you made, you don't know what you used in it, how much of what you used in it, it is going to be tedious and laborious trying to figure it out. You're going to just have to do it again. So that's more product, that's more equipment that you're going to have to go through in order just to get out what you need for, selling it to your customers. You have to price every single one of them. So it's important to get the measurements and stuff that you need ahead of time so that, when you get done, you'll know exactly how much the batch includes, what the volume is. You'll know how much it took of each ingredient to put in there in order to create it. And you will then, there's a program, and I'm going to give you a tip here. It's called Inventor. I got this from another girl when I was at a vendor show, and she was like, are you, using Inventor? And I was like, no. And it's the software for, you to put in your measurements for all of your products, and it will help you calculate. Without you doing the calculations, it'll help you calculate exactly how much you need of each ingredient and how much each ingredient costs. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. It'll help you calculate your batches. If you want to do a batch run, it'll help you, once you put in all of your ingredients, it'll even tell you, you only have this, and this amount left of that to make this amount, so whether or not you can even make that batch, it'll show you that. So it'll just help you outline and organize all of your formulations, all of your recipes, so that it'll make your life easier. I'm telling you, you do not want to backtrack when it comes to learning the volume. It's tedious. I did it. I'm just telling you my mistakes. I would just make batches. I would write down exactly what I used, but I wouldn't write down the batch size. So then I would have to go back and, do another batch to see exactly how much 500 milliliters of this, how many jars it made of that, right? So like I said, in a future day, I'll show you a formulation that I learned from someone else online, how to figure out the exact amount before you even get started. This is the batch size I want to make. These are the amount of jars I want to make, and how to formulate that with, the ingredients that you have. So I'm sorry if that sounded confusing, but it can be very confusing if you do it backwards. So once again, you want to start out figuring out exactly how much you're going to use of each ingredient, the volume, and it's on the back, that you are using for that ingredient, and measure all and write all of those things down, and remember the batch size. This box is making it easier for you because it's just giving it to you in a bag. But when you start ordering bulk size, wax and bulk size fragrances and things of that nature, you're going to have to figure that out for yourself. So I hope that wasn't confusing. To need to know the batch sizes up ahead of time is because you're going to have to price it out per gram. So a lot of things are given in ounces, and all you have to do is get online and say convert 2 ounces to grams, which is 56.699, I want to say, grams. So you take that gram size, and I'll give you that formulation in another video also. I learned that from a girl online whose name is Tara Lee, and she gave me the formulation. I was so thankful of how to price out your products, and I'm sure there's other people on there, but that was the one I found that was easy to follow. And but you'll need the actual amount. Like, so say this candle took the 10, you gotta price this. You have to price the fragrance. You have to price the wicks, the stickers, and the wick holders. You have to price the wax, and you put all of those in there, and the label, because you're going to need a label. You have to price and put all of those in there, and how much it costs. Go in inventory, and it'll tell you, it give you the formulation of how much it costs, what was the tax on it, so on and so forth, and it'll do the calculations for you and tell you how much it costs per each item. And then it'll, it'll add it all up for you in inventory and say, this is the cost per one. This is the cost per one unit of it per gram. So per gram costs this much for one of these, right? And then you'll take that number and put it in a formulation so that you can figure out the cost. I'll also share with you a later date, because I can't put everything in one video, but I created a form that will have all of those things on there so that you can remember right when you're doing, you're formulating, and not forget. Because when you get to formulating, you get so excited. I get so excited by the smells and the products and the ingredients and the outcome of the product, that it's just like, I get so excited. And then it's like, oh, I gotta go back and do all the the heavy work, which it won't be heavy if you do it in order. So that's why I'm going to give you all of those later dates, but we're going to continue on with making. A couple things I wanted to go over also is that it says in the directions, which is following directions, you cover your area if there, to keep from any hot drips of candle wax and stuff once you start pouring. If you do it on a surface where you didn't cover it, you just wipe it off with a paper towel and alcohol. But it's, easier just to do it this way. You don't want to pour any hot wax down the drain. I want to, put that tidbit here. You don't want to mess up your drains. You want to pour all of that in the garbage. And then we can go over our fragrances. I'm not real good at describing fragrances, so I'm not going to do that for you. I'll just show them to you. These are the fragrances that I've gotten. And while I'm showing you, one thing I have learned to do is through having vendor shows and having several different customers, I've learned that the majority of people all go for the same fragrance. So what you want to do is test them out. And the best way that I've learned so far is to test them out is you got to get them in front of customers. One of the cheapest ways I've found to get them in front of customers is to go to vendor shows. Vendor shows are amazing. The tables are literally normally $25. Farmers markets, vendor shows, they are literally between $25 up to $100. I think the most I've ever paid was a little over $100, not much, but it just depends on the size of the vendor show. And, but if it costs more, believe me, it's more than likely going to be worth it. But you want to do your research, because there's a lot of people out there scamming nowadays, because they know how lucrative it could be to have a vendor show. You can charge between, like I said, you can charge up to $100. If you get $100 per vendor, then hey, you're making out like a fat rat if you get all these people at your show. And, so you want to, and no customers, but you want to do, vet them, see how many, shows they've done, see how many people actually show up. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and only send your money when you are absolutely sure that that vendor show is a sure thing. But this is the fragrance. I let a lot of people smell them, like literally at work. And this was one that every single person picked. Out of all of these fragrances, every single person picked amber. So we're going to do this, what's it called? Autumn Amberette, and probably the Apothecary, because I really like that Apothecary scent. It is so calming and not really sweet, but it's more of a lighter, more on the sweet end of smells, kind of medicinal, like And just a nice calming fragrance. Like I said, I'm not really good at describing fragrances. I know my lane, and that ain't it. So I'm just gonna say I really like it. But yeah, these are the two we're going to do with the candles today. When I put these up, I want to say if you're not really good at something like fragrance description, Chat GPT is going to be your friend. Do not be afraid to start a business because you don't think that you are going to have all of the ducks in a row. You're not going to have all of the ducks in a row. You are just not. You're going to learn as you go, and know that if you are not gifted in a certain area of your business, that somebody else is. Period. It is not for you to do everything, and don't get into that mindset where I've got to do it all. No, you're going to have a team, because that's the way you're going to grow your business anyway, is with a team. You can't do everything by yourself. So ChatGPT is your friend. You will put in the name of the fragrance, explain who you are, that you have a skincare or a candle making business. Say you're going to do candle making, and act as the owner of whatever your name of your company is, and say, I have a candle making business and I need a, professional but flirty, or sassy but funny, however you want your labels to sound. I need a description for this scent and a title. I mean, a name for this scent, and it will outline it for you like butter. You can use alcohol and paper towels, which I absolutely love. I normally use alcohol and paper towels with glass jars or my containers, or even like the tins. But these are going to be your best friend, so make sure you have some on hand. All right, so we're going to place these stickers in the tin right where the circle is. You're just going to peel it off the paper backing, and you're going to stick it right in there, just like that. And then I'm going to leave that on there, the top paper, and pull that off once we put in the wick. So you just stick it in there like so, like that. I was a little off, but I'm gonna leave it because I don't want to keep taking it off. And I'm gonna do this last one, smack on, just like that. All right, so you have the tabs in there, and then I'm just gonna take my wicks out, and they have like a coating on them so they can catch fire, right? And so it's flat on the end there. And I'm just going to take that paper off. This is on the top because it's double. It's a double adhesive. I took the paper off, and I'm just going to stick the wick right on top of there, just like that, and press down. Make sure it's on there good. I always overdo stuff, so stuff to probably just stick on there just as easy. I'm gonna press and press and press to make sure. It's just a habit, right? So that's it. And then you're just gonna do the other two the same way, or 6, because you're gonna have 6 in there. Take your wicks out and just stick it in there. Make sure it's secure down there at the bottom. The last one we're gonna do, and then we're gonna get to the wax. This is super easy, y'all. This is a wonderful way to start making you some money. You pick the right scents, and if you're, like I said, if you are not gifted at everything, don't worry, there's somebody that is. So if you're not good at picking out the scents, and you don't have yet the vendor shows or the exposure to clients and customers, then get somebody in your family. Research, I mean, not research, but just like go out there and search for people who are good at it. There's my little cousin Eris. She's excellent at naming fragrances. Like, and I just, everybody that comes over, I'm like, hey, smell this. Hey, do this. Try this. Hey, are you good at this? I just ask, and she's excellent. Like, she'll pick up a scent and be like, oh, that's amber breeze. like, and it just is like the perfect name. It's like so dope. So you never know what people's gifts are if you don't ask. You gotta ask. So if you're not good at picking out fragrances, you know, call your friend, call your, you know, your cousin, your bestie, somebody, and say, hey, can you help me pick these fragrances out, and get it cracking. Either use a double broiler method, or you can use the microwave. I'm using the microwave, but you can use this. I use this often for like all kind of other formulations. But you want to fill the pot with about 1/3. Make it about 1/3 full, so it'll be like pretty much like up to there. And then you just want to warm it up. You don't want to make it too hot. You don't boil it, but you just want to like warm it up until it starts to melt. Once it starts to melt, you want to pick it up from like one of the corners and like move it from side to side, and you know, just like break it up some, and then put it back in there until the wax is completely clear. But we're going to use the microwave, and so I'll show you what it looks like in the microwave, just like so, like that. And you want to do it in 30-second increments until it's completely melted. You don't want to burn your wax, so you don't want to just go heavy and start letting it melt for the full 3 minutes or anything like that. While that's in the microwave, I did want to say that when you do a double broiler method, that when you pull it out of the bowl, you want to make sure that that 30 seconds really didn't touch it. So I'm going to do it for a little while longer, and everybody's microwave is kind of temperamental. You'll know the temperament of your microwave, but I'm going to do it for about a minute this time. But you don't want to get water in your you want to make sure all the water is off the bag if you're going to do the double broiler method, just FYI. So we're going to go for a minute and see what it does. Okay, so after about a minute and 30 seconds, see, it's gotten softer. And then you can start seeing like some translucence right there. So I'm gonna go another minute and keep my eye on it. Just wanna kind of move it around a little bit. There we go. Right, kind of falling down a little bit. Look at that. It's almost ready. There's still some opaque places in there. I'm gonna go another minute, but I'm just gonna watch it throughout that minute. And it's still completely closed. I didn't open this at all. You don't open it yet. And I didn't open the slider at all. It's still completely closed, almost exactly where you need it. So I'm gonna go another minute. Like I said, I'm just gonna watch it throughout that minute. Check it, and it is literally clear everywhere. I'm going to go a few more seconds simply because I'm doing a video. I'm not going directly into making it. You know, I got to set up the camera and all that, so I don't want it to start gelling or you know, getting hard again before I can get to it. So it's wax it can withstand some more heat. It'll be just fine. All right, there we go. Now it is completely clear and ready to go. I'm gonna add the fragrance. And like I said, everything here is just step by step. We're gonna add our fragrance to it, the amberette, and directly into the bag. We're gonna we'll slide the slider down and pour it in. We're gonna open this up just like this. I'll turn it this way so you can see it. Just gonna open that up like that. And you're gonna pour this entire container of fragrance into the bag. Get it all out. And I will say this, it's beautiful to try kits like this, because when you buy a whole batch of something, like the whole batch of wax, once you get good at it, then you can, just buy the bulk, and then you've been done it so many times, it's like, oh, I just need this amount, boo, 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 for testers. But this makes it wonderful for testers because everything is already pre-measured, right? So you just put it in there and you just move the bag back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the directions say 1 to 2 minutes. So we're gonna do this for 1 to 2 minutes. Of course, not on camera, but 1 to 2 minutes. And make sure it's good and mixed. It's kind of hot. It is not too hot. But you know us moms have magic fingers, so we can withstand some heat. Us women, baby, we can withstand some heat. So you just shake it back and forth. Make sure that fragrance is nice and mixed in there, and then we're going to just pour it into the containers. Now, this is so simple. We often think about small business, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so hard, but you got to start. You got to start. You have to start, y'all. You can't continue to keep it in your mind and think of all of the things that can go wrong. Start thinking of all the things that can go right. You thought about 10 to 20 things that could go wrong. Write down 10 to 20 things that can go right. And this is one of them. Getting a starter kit, getting started, getting excited. You know what I mean? Seeing how simple and easy it is. You can't tell me this wasn't easy. This was super easy. And the other thing I want to say is, like, when you get scents and you try them out in kits, it is so important, because not all scents smell equally in each product. It might smell different in a skincare product than it smells in a candle. It might smell different in the container than it smells in here, because I'm telling you right now, this wax is like taking me. It is amazing. It smells so freaking good, bro. I mean, it smells way better than it smelled in here. So it gives you the chance to just try different things out and see what you like, see what you don't like, see which direction you want to go. You might want to add some additives in here, some color, who knows? You might want to just go crazy with it, or have your own little touch that's something that nobody else thought about. I'm a plain Jane, so I'm probably just going to keep it with the fragrance and a really, really cool matte colored glass that matches my the palette of my business. But there are people who put flowers in there, all kind of stuff, just make it real decorative. You can go crazy with this, but you want to get the basics down. And look, this kit allows you to get the basics down. So I think I've talked about 1 to 2 minutes easily. And now the thing you'll do next is go right with the directions. You pour the wax. You unscrew this cap from the side of the bag. And I'm going to pause so I can put it down so I can show you. I'm just going to untwist this cap, which was simple. The slider is completely closed, and you're going to pour it in. It says up to 1/4 below the rim. Oh, this smells great. Y'all, it's crazy. And it smells amazing. So the beautiful part about this is that it's the 1/4. Can you see that rim? It's a line right around there, and that'll give you the direction in which you need to, the place in which you need to stop. So you just pour it in there. That wick that just fell over, it was already kind of bent at the end, at the base of it. So we're going to just use the wick holders to put it in place. and keep it in place until the wax hardens. Y'all, I'm so excited. Super geeked. I was supposed to have been made candles in my line. Telling on myself, disobedience is horrible. But I was so inundated with how hard life was and everything was around me that I did not do it. And the Lord has really been on me about getting this done. So this project actually is for you and for me. So I can get myself together and get started obeying God. So I can say that one thing I am really great at, then you're going to take these, what do they call them? Wick bars, and set your wick right in. Oops, I'm probably an easier way to do this, but I am not the most skilled at making candles just yet in my life. But I'm about to be a master. When I do stuff, I desire to master it. So, if you are a candle maker and you're like, she's doing that wrong, tell me how to do it right in the comments, honey, because I am here for all of the tips. All right. So I'm thinking that's the way it goes on there. Could go that way too. Both sides are. Nope, I think I like it this way better. I've done this before, but I didn't have these metal wick bars. But that'll hold it in place. And then you let these dry for 1 to 3 hours. Yay, it's so exciting. So while these are drying, I'm going to make, and you get some of the way, I got some of the wax on my hand, but I absolutely love it. It smells great. But anyway, you're going to let those dry, and then you're going to, and I'll show you this at a later date once these dry, put this on the bottom of the can. It's a warning label for your customers. These are absolutely necessary, and also your labels. We'll go over a little bit about labels. Like I said, that'll have to be a separate video because there is a way that you are supposed. Got tongue tied. There's a certain template that you're supposed to use for labels that you have to include certain things per law on your label. You don't want to get in the habit of doing things the wrong way, especially if you're going to be selling it to customers. If you're just doing it at home, that's your business. I still would tell you to do it the right way. I like to kind of keep everything, uniform. And then when we're done, we'll trim the wick, and then we'll be done. So I'll come back after about 1 to 3 hours, and after I do the second batch, and we'll finish it. While our candles are drying, I wanted to mention, because this is the whole point of these videos, is to show you how to have a side income, a second stream of income. If you just want to get a little hustle on, if you want to, hone in on some new skills in life, whatever it is, I want you to make some money. If you think about this kit cost me about $55. I want to say $55 for sure. Yeah, it was about $55 from CandleScience. And if you sold the candles at market value, between $15 to $25, you've made your money. So 15 times 2 is 30. So you got what, 30, 60, $90. If you just did $15, $90. So you make all your money back plus $40-something, and that's just at $15. If you wanted to do it at $20, then you could do that too, depending on your packaging, depending on your scents, because scents are amazing. People love fragrances. Depending on whether you wanted to do more natural, so you wanted to go for more of a soy wax, like this one is coconut and apricot, versus paraffin wax. Like, you can just really think about how you want to market your products. Cheap is not always better. I'm the type, my brand goes with quality. The quality of what it's going to actually do for your skin and for your home. Like, these are for your home and your atmosphere. That's what I price for. I don't go for just cheap. But some people can, so some people, that's their business strategy. They go for cheap and they sell as many as they can. to make as much money as they can. I don't knock that. If that's what you want to do, then, you know, you're inexpensive. If that's your theme, that's your theme. Me, I'm quality. So I charge what it costs. You know what I'm saying? And for the time, I bumped my candles, and look. That's why you want to have this area covered. That's why my second batch of candles are drying, and they are perfect. My other ones aren't. I'll show you later, but because like I said, I spilled them. But this I want to pay attention to. So you can use, one thing that's great about the kits is that you can use these as inspiration. You can get different types of wax, and then you can burn them and see just how strong they throw. And when I say throw, I mean how they give off a scent, how strong of a scent they give off. That's what throw is. And then you can start learning like all of the lingo that goes along with candles. You're going to watch 1,000 YouTube videos. Promise me you will. People who are currently doing it, so you can learn all types of tips and things before you get started. But I don't want you to take forever to get started. That's why I'm trying to give you all the tidbits so that you can go ahead and get started. You can get this kit. You can start selling this kit. You can make your money back for this kit and make some money over what you made back. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you price it. And, you know, you'll come in already making money with some revenue. So this is a 1 pound bag. These are 1 ounce jars. So you'll need a 1 pound bag, a 1 ounce jar. You'll already know the measurements of what you need to make 6 candles in the tins, right? If you choose to do the tins. So you want to pay attention to the wicks. I know from watching a lot of YouTube videos and from starting my own candles back in, a couple years back, the wicks are important. I don't know the exact codes, but as you go on CandleScience, they'll teach you all of those things, and other people watching their videos will teach you all those things too. So you need to pay attention to, and I pay attention to this because I've watched candles. I love candles. I'm a candle lover, connoisseur, and I've watched candles that I've bought, say in like glass containers, that have, with a certain amount of heat, cracked. So you always want to be safe and use what's approved, what they've already, tested and tried, so that it can be safe for your customer, right? So you want to pay attention to the container and the wick series that you use, so you can, burn it the best, which ones burn the best, and and then the measurements, right? So then the next time, I need 1 pound of wax, I need an ounce of fragrance, and I need, these things, the wicks. These are reusable. You can just reuse those. You just need to buy the wicks and the stickers that go on the bottom of them and some more containers, and boom, I can sell another batch of candles. You don't want to try to rewrite the wheel. Just use this as your inspiration and go and make the money and see how people like what it is that you've made. Okay, we'll go over what you need to put on your labels. You need a label to like describe what it is. I've written some things down here, and you also need the warning label. These are mandatory mandatory inserts that you need to put on your label. Burn within sight. Number 1, keep away from flammable objects. Number 2, and number 3 is keep away from children and pets. These are mandatory on every candle label. You must have a warning label that says these 3 things. Then you can do burning instructions, which the CandleScience already has it all out here for you on their warning label, and you can put this right on the bottom, right? It has the trimming of the wick instructions, only burn the candle on a level fire, so it has some more warnings there, which this is awesome. This is another reason why I like using kits, because like I said, why rewrite the wheel? Just use what's already there, secondary information, and keep it moving. So you need to put on the top of your label. They have some labels already here. Handmade scented candle, coconut apricot wax. It makes a 5 ounce jar, which is 14 grams, 141 grams. I'm sorry. So that's there. You can put your name and your address. I use my company name, and I would encourage you to use your company name, come up with a company name, and I do not put my address on things. I put Warren, Ohio, or now that I live in, the Carolinas, I put my North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. But I would either prefer to do a P.O. box, or there are different types of addresses that you can use. You can find online, like virtual addresses, corporate addresses, and things of that nature, but that's not something I'm going to get into in this video. I just wouldn't put my personal address. It's just not a thing I like to do. I've met some weird people while I've been in business, so I don't do that. But product identity, saying that it's a handmade scented candle, right? Net weight, we've got that on there. Burning instructions, CandleScience already has it on their pre-made labels. Wick trimming, they have that there. Max burning times, they have that there, right? The wax type, that's there. They wrote it on there for you. And the fragrance, you only have to just put fragrance, the word fragrance. You can put, like, I wouldn't use the actual name of the scent on there. I would come up with something different and inventive. So, because people will copy, and you say, well, I don't gatekeep. Yeah. Some things I think that it should be proprietary to just your company. People don't have to know everything. You know what I'm saying? So you can come up with, autumn breeze for something like this. Whatever comes to your mind, make it something cute and inventive and catchy, and put that on there. And then you could put notes of whatever there are notes of in here. I don't know if they have the notes on here. No, but it could be like notes of vanilla, notes of different flowers, notes of cherry. No, you could put the notes there, right, of what it gives you the impression that it smells like. And then that's it, right? When you do the product identity, like I said, you can put coconut apricot wax, or if you do scented soy candle, you can say scented soy candle. So you do need both labels, one on top, one on the bottom, so that your customer can know exactly what they're buying. You can, when you start out, just handwrite these and sell these to the people that you know and you love, full price. And I'm telling you, you want to go full price because you don't want to give people the impression that you're cheap. Start out how you want to end, right? You don't want to come out the bag, oh, it's just cheap. People gonna think it's cheap. No, it's not cheap. This costs you money. It costs you labor. Therefore, I'm charging per my quality. And so, yes, I did have to start out with, handwritten labels or whatever, but what's in this jar, honey, is amazing. Always remember that. You are charging for your quality. Is online labels. These are labels for my deodorants. So I do all of my labels. There are companies where you can create the label, and then they can send it out to you, right? There are tons of those. As soon as you go on their labels, put that in, you're gonna get a ton of suggestions on Google. I do online labels because I have so many different scents and so many different products that I have like 60 something products. So I have to, until I figure out exactly what I want for each one, I do it myself. So if I have to make changes or anything like that, I don't want to be caught in the lurch with a whole bunch of labels that I can't use. So with online labels, I want to just show you the top. I put my address on the other one. It has the address and stuff on there, but that is what the logo looks like, and how you will design your labels is Maestro Label Design. It's all on the same website. So you can design some of the things on Canva, and the rest you can design on Maestro. You're just gonna have to go in there and just start. And I want to give a tip here before you print out a whole bunch of them. So you order the blank labels from Online Labels. You design it on Maestro, which is all on the same website. And then also Canva, you're gonna get some pictures and stuff if you want to put pictures of like fruits and things on there. You find which ones you like on Canva, canva.com, and you just download it. And then you can download it into your computer. Once you get into Maestro, upload it into Maestro. It's super simple, right? So then when you order your blank labels, what you want to do is after you've gotten it all designed and all pretty like this, right? You want to print it off, but you only want to print off one. And I'm going to tell you, and I do this consistently, but I've pretty much stopped being too anxious to get stuff done. Calm down, be patient. Yeah, because I have to do it all the time. Calm down, be patient. If you print all of these off and it does not look right on the container, you have wasted you wasted money. Learn from my mistakes. What you want to do, because this is one, as you can see, those labels are all no good, right? Because what I did not do is print off one, try it on the bottle, and then seeing how it looked on the bottle. Because when you put it on the bottle, I'll show you my deodorant. When you put it on the bottle, it can look, so sorry, showing you my chin, totally different. So sometimes when you print them out, sometimes when you print things out, like this one is perfect, but sometimes when you print it out, the white part can be too large. It could be too close to the edge. Sometimes it can it can just look offset, especially like right in here. So then it makes it look like your product is janky. So you always want to print off just one. Try it on the product. Oh, that's another tip. You want to use waterproof labels. I'm a waterproof girl, and there was a girl I was looking at who made candles, and I love the look of her candles, and she's out there making money with the candles. I'll try to find her video also, but she said that too, waterproof, because if you make a mistake, it just peels right off. You just pull it right off. If you don't use waterproof, you're going to be scraping and scraping and scraping and scraping, trying to get that adhesive off and that sticker off. Waterproof is the way to go. But yeah, you want to do one label at a time until you get it mastered. Then once you get it mastered, then you can print a full sheet of labels. Trust me. So guys, here is the finished product. These are the ones with the apothecary scent, and they are all perfect. These are the ones with the autumn and Brett scent in the back that I bumped the table, and the wax just kind of like plopped out. So I put it back as much as I possibly could. I'll just use these for like my own personal use or give them to my kids or something like that. But these I can definitely sell. So I'm going to show you what they look like with the labels that were provided by wholesale. I mean, not wholesale, wrong company. CandleScience. The wicks trimmed down. Those are the ones that I'm going to use personally because they're a mess. There is the finished product of the ones that did not spill over. You get the warning on the bottom with the wick instructions and burning instructions and everything that already comes with the kit. And then you have your label. You can also, like I said, make your own labels. I already went through that in the video. And you can name it whatever you'd like to name it. I would suggest, like after your first couple batches, that you definitely get into automizing your labels because you know, your handwriting can be very inconsistent as you go along. Unless you have, like, some people have that amazing handwriting no matter how many times they write and what they write. But I don't, so I will definitely be printing mine off of the printer from here on. And these are the ones that spilled over, so I'm just going to, you know, wipe those off, put my labels on there, and use them. If this video has added any value to your life, please like and subscribe. If you learned something, hit like and subscribe. If you think that this video would be great for someone else that you know that would be great at candle making, hit the share button. And remember, we love the skin you're in. Start your day the Shea-Mergency way. Deuces.